and I have done absolutely nothing. I've done nothing today because just everything has been a cock up. So I'm going home. A few weeks ago, I took the 2.5-hour journey to go and pick up my new project car, the Porsche Cayman 981 GT4. Now, after collecting it, we brought it back to the unit, and we did have some fun trying to get it off the transporter. Because one of the rear wheels was missing, it was super low, and Beaver Towel body as well didn't help. So using the trolley jack and the engine crane, we managed to lift all 4 corners onto the ramp and finally lift it off the bed of the transporter. This is part 2. We made some progress in part 1, so if you haven't seen that video, go watch it now, and let's resume part 2. And that is how we left it in the last video, with this rear wheel kind of on. It just needs another arm. The primary objective of today's video is to get this driving. I want to get it driven off the ramp under its own power. And to do that, we're going to have to finish off this rear corner. We're going to have to change the hub on the near side front, as well as a new tyre and alloy and a steering arm that's broken. Obviously, you can see once we get the tyre on here, we're going to have issues with some bodywork that's been pushed backwards, and then the exhaust, so that needs to come off, and a few bits of bodywork here which will need to come completely out as well. And also that drive shaft flange that I ordered from Porsche, I'm hoping that will turn up at some point in today's video. And I have also bought a drive shaft for it as well, so we can get that fitted as well. So fingers crossed, we should get a lot done. Because yeah, that's one of the reasons why I want to turn the car around, because I haven't really got much room to work with here to be able to pull this out. I would ideally want it on the other corner, the opposite corner, so basically the car driven onto the ramp. But for now, I need to be able to get this wheel and tie it on, so we do need to probably remove the exhaust system, and I might be able to get away with just removing the trims and the exhaust heat shield, to be fair. So concentrating on this near side front corner just for a little bit, we have the snapped hub here as well. So we need a whole new hub for the near side front as well, and also an inner tie rod end. The actual track rod is fine itself, it's the inner tie rod end that is snapped. I have ordered one of those, it should be turning up at some point in today's video. And also, if you remember, I actually fitted the near side hub was from a 718 GT4. Now looking at everything, all the numbers matched up and it fit exactly the same as well on that. So I've done it again. I've actually ordered another front hub from a GT4 718, but this time the part numbers are identical. It is a 981 part number. It's actually a 991 part number, sorry, it's not even a 981. So these hubs are actually from a GT3 and they cross over to the GT4 and obviously the 981 GT4 as well. When I was ordering the gearbox flange from Porsche yesterday, I did ask about how much the ceramic discs would be and a caliper for this car. Get ready, because it ain't cheap. So weirdly, the rear disc, even though it's slightly smaller, was more expensive than the front. £3,600 for the rear disc, £3,500 for the front. What's that, 7,100? And then we've got the rear caliper was about 850. So what's that, 79.50. So just under £8,000 for 2 discs and 1 caliper. Doesn't include the pads for the rear either, so we'd have to get a full set. Now, this doesn't seem to be as bad as it looks. The hub is pretty much snapped in half, as you can see, but other than that, there isn't much damage. The caliper seems to be fine, although the bolts for the caliper are slightly bent. I guess that's because the hub's snapping in half. The inner tie rod end we have to remove because that is severely bent and also snapped, so we do need to replace that. Now I'm going to need some energy to do all this, and I can't be bothered / don't want to go out and get some food, so I'm going to have my Y Food, and they have kindly sponsored today's video. Now, Y Food is a meal replacement drink, powder or brownie, not to be confused with a diet drink, so you can replace either your morning, lunch or dinner meals. It comes in 500ml bottles, a big bag of powder, or you can get chocolate brownies as well. They have 26 different vitamins and minerals in. They are lacto-free, they are gluten-free, they are high in fiber, high in protein, and have no added sugar. Now, you can store these at room temperature. They do not need to go in the fridge. The bottles contain around 500 calories, the powder around 400. They're just super convenient. I use them all the time, especially when I'm out driving, because I can't be bothered to pull into the surfaces. I'd much rather just have one of those. You're doing something healthy for your body, you're eating something decent as well, and you're not just stopping off at a fast food restaurant. So they just work in every aspect for me. Now, I've been using Y Food for nearly 3 years now, and I'm always surprised about how long they actually keep me full. And they surprisingly do keep you full for a long period, 3 to 5 hours. So if you're new to Y Food, click the link in my description, try out that starter pack. If you've used them before, you know what you're doing. You can use my discount code, which is Salvage10. So a massive thanks to Y Food for continuing to support the channel and sponsoring today's video. With the near side front suspension now all stripped down, we need to order parts. Let's move our attention to the rear of the car to be able to get that wheel on. So we need to remove the rear bumper, rear crash bar, heat shields, tail lights, interior trims, and to do all that, we'll start with the rear bumper. And once we've got that off, we can get the tail lights off, and to do that, we need to remove the interior trims of the car. But I did have a problem on the near side left because you can see, look, it's really squashed in the chassis, and I can't actually remove the carpet. It's completely squashed. So I won't be able to remove that until we get our dozer on the car and start pulling it out. The near side tail light, I had to just smash out. But yeah, can't get that carpet trim out. Well, I thought I'd jump in for an update. I am currently stuck at the moment trying to get this floor pan out because it's completely squashed in, well, this little corner piece here is literally squashed up into the wheel arch, and it's squashed me floor pan, and I can't actually get it out. I've tried. I've just about managed to get the back piece out, but I can't get this piece out. So I'm at the point where I can start stripping this off. I've also noticed my chassis leg is very badly bent here, which, yeah, look at it. That is not good. I don't know if we can have a quick look under here. Look, yeah, that ain't good at all. So I'm not going to worry about it for the minute because I haven't seen the full extent of the damage. Before I start taking too much more off, I need to pull it out with the, I mean, I've got a dozer. It's not very good, if I'm honest, but I'm going to try and use it because that's all I've got. Ideally, I want a jig. But I'm going to try and pull this corner piece out here just so we can start getting it back to some sort of shape before we start cutting, drilling, etc. To set my dozer up, I need to clamp it on the seals of the car, and the seals, if you look under here, are not really exposed. So I'm going to, looks like I'm going to have to take off the side skirts, both sides, and the floor pan, which isn't ideal because it's not even a side skirt, it's the whole panel. So I'm going to have to remove both of those panels, it looks like, and some of the flooring to be able to get the dozer set up properly. So that's where I'm at the minute. So I'm going to get the car up in the air and just see if we can remove those easy enough. Removing the exhaust isn't too bad. There are 2 bolts on each side going to the manifolds, and they were very difficult to undo, to be fair, because they were very rusty. One side, the off side, I couldn't undo at all, so I ended up having to cut the exhaust off, but as it's scrap, it didn't matter. There's a few brackets to get off the off side. The brackets were easy to undo. The near side, they were crumpled, so again, I had to get my grinder out and cut them off. But once we got all those out, the exhaust pretty much fell down. Well, it did. It fell on me. But that is a good chunk of the damage now removed from the rear. Now we are getting there. We've exposed most of the rear end. I just need to get this heat shield off now to actually expose the body panels themselves. It's going to be a bit tricky here because they are right squeezed up inside themselves. I mean, you can't even see it, but there's a bolt there I've got to try and get undone. And there's another one, I'm not even sure. So I might end up having to cut sections off to get it out, or just rip it out. Now, I noticed a lot of you are saying in the comments that change the PCCB system. You don't need ceramic brakes, just change them to the steel brakes, which was actually a standard fit option on the GT4 anyway. PCCB was a very expensive optional upgrade. And yeah, you're right, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna be spending 8 grand on 2 discs and a caliper at all. So I have managed to already source, and I've just gone and collected them, a set of used front standard 981 GT4 brakes. And interestingly, I've brought the calipers over here to have a look, and I thought they would be a bit different, but fundamentally they look identical. The only difference I can actually see, I mean, they're both 6-piston, they're both exactly the same size, there's no difference in size. The only thing I can see that's different is the mounting point here. Look, it seems to have an additional, yeah, it's just an additional bit here. Look, see, it's a bit flatter there, look, almost like an inbuilt washer. I'm guessing that's just to accommodate the bigger disc. That is my guess. Again, same with the rears. Look, they're just a bit more pronounced on the brackets, on the fitment. So yeah, I'm just assuming that's just because of the bigger discs, but otherwise they are identical. And I've already offered up the rear disc. Look, so this has come off a car that's done only about 8,000 miles. Ironically, it came off another GT4 that had been a Cat S. So a big thanks to a guy called Malk who messaged me on Instagram and sorted me out with a really good price on these rear discs, 4 calipers and all brake pads as well. Now he's got a business called Rent a Rim where you can rent track day rims and tyres. Now so you click the link in my description, I'll give you a link and you can go and check him out. And I've got the front discs over here as well. They're not the standard fitment, they are slightly upgraded floating discs, but otherwise they are the same. So what I'm going to do quickly is, this is the only corner that actually doesn't need to be touched at all. So I'm gonna now just take off the ceramic disc and the caliper and completely fit the new disc and caliper just to make sure we've got no issues and everything's gonna fit fine. Well, I'm not gonna lie, I've come in, nice new week, Monday morning, and I've had an absolute disaster from start to finish. So over the weekend, yeah, it's a bit of a mess at the minute because I've been gathering loads of parts for the car. I've got a load of brake discs there. I've got a box full of calipers and all sorts there as well. And I've just been going through, I've also got my new hub for the near side front. I've got a drive shaft down there. I've got my flange, which I've kind of inserted into the gearbox. And yeah, my calipers over there, as you've seen. Yeah, and nothing has gone right, not one thing. So my discs, they're not OEM discs, they're actually like upgrade floating discs, and yeah, they were supposed to be for the GT4, but I've got them, tried fitting them, and they're completely wrong. Yeah, just the surface area was all wrong, and the pads were hitting the bolts here, so they just don't fit at all. The rear discs I've got are fine. So they're absolutely fine. All the 4 calipers that I've got are all absolutely fine. My problem is just with the discs. Now, I thought I got a great deal, £300 for a full set of discs, basically. And yeah, they're the wrong ones. And I cannot find any others online at all. So I have just gone and ordered 2 from Porsche at, I think it was just under £1,000 for 2 discs. I mean, I could hang around and wait to see if any come up online, but the trouble is I need them because to be able to move the car around, I need brakes. So I've just ordered them. I mean, once I get a definitive price, because I think it's just under £1,000, I'll put it up on the board, but I have ordered them to collect. So I can't fit the calipers or any of them. What else have we got? The hub. I went to fit my hub and realised that my steering arm that I've left it in my car, which my car's not here. I took it down to, anyway, it's not here, put it that way. So I can't even fit that either. So I've done well there as well. And then moving on to the drive shaft flange, I cannot press it into the gearbox. Now I've tried just pushing it in. It goes so far. It's got like an inch to go still, but I just cannot get it to go any further. Don't know if you can see the flange. There you go, look. So it's about an inch, look, it's got to go in. I've even tried using my 10-ton ram to like press it in off of this, but I didn't do it too hard at all because it just wasn't going in, and I don't want to break it. So can anyone help me here? Like, is it supposed to be just pressed in? I mean, I've watched a couple of videos of people just like pulling them up with their hands and just pushing them in. This one doesn't do that at all. It has located in the splines, but it just will not go in any further. So I can't fit my drive shaft. Oh, and the drive shaft I cocked up on as well. So I ordered that for a 981 GT4. Didn't even read the description. I have no idea why. Just bought it and it's damaged beyond repair. CV boot, CV joint is knackered. It won't rotate. It's all knackered inside. And then I read the description, spares or repairs. I have no idea why I bought it, so I can't even send it back. And the next cheapest one is £500, and I paid £85 for that. And also the wiring loom that I bought from here is wrong, so I need to go change that at Porsche as well when I pick up the disc tomorrow. I mean, so today has literally just been a complete disaster. I'm 1,500 quid down on where I was this morning, or where I thought I was going to be. And I have done absolutely nothing. I've done nothing today because just everything has been a cock up. So I'm going home. Right, I've come in this morning, new day, new me, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate. Yesterday was just one of those days where absolutely nothing went to plan. And yeah, I'm sure you could tell it was really annoying me. So I'm sure a lot of you can relate to days like that. But come on, good day, let's go. So I've just gone over to Porsche and picked up 2 brand new front discs. So I'm gonna fit them first. I've also got my inner tie rod as well, so I can do the steering. Right, let's start by getting this old disc off and the nice shiny new one on. So finally we can start making some progress and start by building up the offside front brakes. Now we've got brand new discs, the calipers fitted, absolutely no problems at all. Moving over to the near side front, we first put our tie rod end in. That went in absolutely no problems. And then we can get our suspension hub, which is complete with a wheel bearing. This come off a 718 GT4, but again, it's a complete straight swap. So getting all that bolted on, really easy. No problems whatsoever, and we can also fit our new brakes and calipers on to the near side front as well. And all we've got to do is set up our tracking, and that is that done. Now I'm just about to install my tie rod end, and because obviously it's a new one, it needs to be completely set up on a four-wheel alignment. But for now, I just want to get it in the best possible position. And to do that, I've set the steering wheel so it's dead in the center. Just checked this side, making sure, I know I don't have a wheel on, but the disc is pointing as natural straight ahead as possible. And now I just need to do the same with this one, which I think, hard to tell because it's inside the arch, but let's just have a better look here. There you go, that's probably a better look. So I think that's pretty much straight ahead. And then roughly the hole is here. As you can see, it's going to sit like that. So I just need to unscrew it a few turns just so it sits about there. Yeah, I reckon that's good. About there. So I'll stick it in, and that just gives us, so we can drive it down basically without the tracking being too far out. So when we get it properly forward aligned, it won't be too far out. Okay, so wish me luck here. My drive shaft, which is knackered, I've actually just bolted to the flange, and I've moved this hub out the way, and I'm just going to try and hammer it in because I don't know what else to do. It's clearly just a push fit, but I can't get any access to do it, so I'm just going to use an 85-pound extension rod and try and hammer it in. So I have no idea how this is going to go at all. It just ain't going in at all. Can't even get it out now either. Oh, I don't know with this one. Don't know how you're supposed to put it in. So I've just managed to get the flange back out, and you can see where it's just sat, well you can't see, but it's just sat in the splines a little bit because it's turning the gearbox over. But you can see here where it's getting up to and just not going any further. So you can see how much further it's got to go. It's about an inch. But I just cannot get it to go any further. Now it's not making any marks or anything like that, look. They all clean up. So I have no idea how I'm supposed to get it in because it won't press in, can't even hammer it in. So anyone in the comments that has done one of these before and know how you're supposed to do it, let me know because I can't drive it until I can get this bloody flange in. So yeah, if anyone knows, please give us a shout. Right, so apart from that drive shaft, we are making good progress now. That is actually this near side front corner fully fixed. All we need now is to put a wheel on it. Obviously, all the brakes need bleeding properly, but we won't do that until one of the last things because the brake line for that side is damaged, and also we've got a lot of bodywork to do to that yet before we put the brakes on. So apart from the brakes needing bleeding, this corner is now fixed. Brakes are all on, and the brakes and caliper are on the offside front as well. So that is actually the front end done. So anything past sort of this point here is, oh no it's not, the bumpers needs repairing. Okay, a little bit of bodywork, but mechanically front end is done. Calipers on the rear, so that's good. And also you would have seen that everything is out the way to be able to get a wheel and tyre on here. And I've just put my new link bar here. So that is, this wheel will stop it now from flapping around. So we can get the wheel and tyre on there, so we can basically just push it, because yeah, I ain't gonna drive that with one drive shaft missing. So we had to push it outside, turn it around and get it back in. So mechanically we are almost there, apart from the drive shaft and this near side rear issues, but parts wise we've pretty much got everything. Now I've got some more bad news. The near side rear alloy I bought for the car here actually cannot be repaired. Now I bought it as a spares or repair needing refurbishment. It didn't look too bad from the pictures, but after taking it to a specialist, they said that it actually can't be repaired because the damage was so severe. It was really bad dent. I've already taken the package of the wheel back up, so I can't show you, but it was so badly dented on top of one of the spokes. He said by straightening it, he would actually just cause more stress fractures. Can't say that word. Stress stress. Oh my God. It would cause more stress. Oh, I can't do it. It would cause more stress. This is a joke. More stress fractures. That was difficult. Stress fractures. Stress fractures by trying to repair it and therefore just make it weaker. And he goes, if you're going on Ford Fiesta, then yeah, might have repaired it. But on the rear of a GT4, no. He wouldn't recommend it. So that is going to completely scupper my plans of trying to get the car rolling. Obviously, I don't actually have a near side front alloy either, so I don't know why I was being so presumptuous. So I was going to get it rolling today. So yeah, it's kind of stuck. But don't worry, I have bought a set of aftermarket alloys and they shall be here tomorrow. So in the next video, we will get the car rolling. So let's just have a tot up of money spent so far. So 2 front discs from Porsche were £900. They actually did me a very good deal. They should be, I think, just over £1,000 actually. The rest of the brakes, the 2 rear discs and all 4 calipers was £2,000. 2 front tyres, part warns, £70. That front hub was £350. That rear track beam was £200. And believe it or not, new, that tiny little straight bit of track that does absolutely nothing is 370 quid. The rear tyre, 65 quid plus 15 delivery, so that's 80. The rear hub, 325. And the drive shaft, right, so I think that's where we're up to at the moment. So that is going to be it for today's video, guys, purely because I can't get the car off the ramp now, so I'll have to wait to the next video, but it will all start kicking off in that one, because we can get the car turned around, we can start pulling chassis frames and stuff like that, we'll get my dozer set up, and then we'll start cutting off, getting the grinder out and cutting off body panels. So as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. Please do subscribe if you haven't already, and follow me on Instagram at saving_salvage. I have also got a Facebook I've started up, which I think is Saving Salvage 1, I think you've got to search for, I don't know. So as always, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.